Teams do not want to pay their best players. This was most noticeably seen with Luka Doncic being traded to Los Angeles. But this stems from other problems. From salary cap to award incentives and player empowerment, money has changed the NBA forever. How did we get here? I'm Jerry, and this is the Clutch Original on how and why money, namely supermax contracts, have changed the landscape of professional basketball. With everything from contracts to players wanting more money, we've continued to see how the NBA is a business. But it hasn't become more apparent than today. Why? In 2017, the NBA made a huge change that favored the players, the designated veteran player extension, better known as the supermax. This was what the contract as we know it today was introduced. How does it really work? Teams can re-sign a star player who has 8 to 9 years of service for up to 5 years for a value of up to 35% of the salary cap. And for a player to be eligible for this contract, they have to have accomplished at least one of the following: make an All-NBA team, first, second, or third, Defensive Player of the Year in the season before or in 2 out of the 3 previous seasons, or MVP in 1 of the 3 previous seasons. And these contracts are fully guaranteed compared to NFL contracts, which are mostly non-guaranteed. Despite MVP and Defensive Player of the Year being given to just 1 player a year, the All-NBA team selections have seemingly made this supermax contract even more accessible. So what was the original intention of the supermax? It was seen as a way for teams to retain the superstar they drafted, giving more money to them than anyone else in the league could possibly offer. And in 2017, when it was introduced, it initially worked out. Steph Curry was the first NBA player to ever sign a supermax as a 5-year, $201 million deal. There's a number of examples when this ended up actually working. Giannis Antetokounmpo in 2020, Nikola Jokic in 2022, and Devin Booker in 2022, just to name a few. But with the successes, there are failures. And this is why the money started to hurt basketball. For every Steph Curry and Giannis Antetokounmpo contract, there's even more supermaxes that don't work out. Examples include John Wall's 2017 Washington deal, Bradley Beal's 2022 Wizards deal, and Rudy Gobert's 2020 Utah deal. These didn't work out for a number of reasons. John Wall, after his 2017 All-NBA third-team selection, he signed his supermax, but the very next season, he played just 41 games, dealing with a knee injury, and he averaged just 36 games per season for the rest of his career. Bradley Beal, following his 2021 All-NBA third-team selection, he inked his supermax deal in 2022. But going into the 2023 offseason, trade talks started buzzing, and he was moved to Phoenix on June 24th that year. And since Beal's time in Phoenix, he's averaged his lowest points per game since 2016. Rudy Gobert. Despite Gobert making All-NBA third team 3 years in a row, from 2019 to 2021, and winning Defensive Player of the Year 4 times, many saw his 2020 contract as insane. At the time, it was the 3rd biggest contract ever, and the largest for a center. He was moved to Minnesota just 2 years later. This leads us to 2025. Since the emergence of the 2017 Supermax, teams have gotten more weary of offering this big-time money every year. This was seen with Luka Doncic, because according to Tim McMahon, Dallas was terrified to give Luka a $350 million Supermax in the summer of 2025. According to Brian Windhorst, the conventional wisdom would have been to give Luka the contract, then trade him with the 5 years on the deal, so the player can't leverage you. The Mavs obviously didn't care to do that. And the next big player in this discussion is Jaren Jackson Jr. Because after Victor Wembanyama's season-ending injury in 2025, Jackson became the odds-on favorite to win the DPOI, potentially setting Jackson up for supermax money. If he doesn't win, the largest contract Jackson can receive is 4 years, $147 million. If he does win, that goes up to 5 years, $345 million, a difference in $198 million and over $32 million a season. And the way NBA finances are set up, is a huge reason why players can get so much money. The NBA does not have a hard salary cap. There's a soft cap and luxury tax mark in the league that allows teams to surpass the salary cap of $140.588 million per year. And NBA teams can go over the NBA luxury tax limit, but have to pay taxes if they do. In 2024, 29 of the 30 NBA teams went over that cap. Another huge problem that has emerged is the guarantee of the supermax. In large part, most NBA contracts, including supermaxes, are fully guaranteed. This gives the players leverage in situations like load management, even with the 65-game award requirement. The NFL, on the other hand, does not have fully guaranteed deals, usually breaking money down by guaranteed, non-guaranteed conditions and more. And former NFL stars like receiver Brandon Marshall has suggested having only 4 players per NBA team that can have guaranteed contracts to help the game. Every year there's a new biggest contract in NBA history, and a team that did not want to pay that much for that player. But the transition to player empowerment has shifted players' relationships with their organizations, seemingly chasing money and settling after that big contract is signed. This isn't the case every time, but it's definitely trending in that direction. Can NBA contracts be fixed?